For our friends in China, it was a little tale about a pair of chopsticks. Now, a set of chopsticks can be quite easily broken. Nothing too difficult, huh? Two are also easy. Let's give it a crack. Right? But a whole bunch, they're having none of it. You can probably guess what Mum and Pop are trying to say with this little slice of folklore, which is that the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. We're stronger together. Now, parents like to have fun too, but this kind of story does seem like a waste of a lot of chopsticks. But there's a very good point. Now, joking aside, however, it demonstrates very nicely a fundamental rule of physics, one which has been made use of in Chinese architecture since a very, very long time ago. Today's buildings often rely on huge steel beams and bolts for structure, but in China's ancient wooden buildings, chopsticks were used, albeit a slightly thicker than your average dinner table variety. What really boggles the mind, however, is that amongst these buildings there is literally not one single bolt, or nail, or glue, or tape, which no matter how many times you try, you can never get them straight. Anyway, here's a fun little app that lets you try the different parts of the Sunmao and see how they fit together. So let's have a crack at taking apart a classic building. It's actually really hard to tell from the outside, and this is just a small model, so even if you're seeing the real thing, if you haven't seen it before, it's quite difficult to pick out where the joints are and how they fit together, which points to some rather ingenious shenanigans. Now, it's fair enough to wonder if fitting together without any fastenings whatsoever, does it leave the final structure rather weak and, well, wobbly? So we'll say something similar like an earthquake. Well, we've pulled out from the Open China Archive a little clip of an experiment conducted by a research team.
Each tremor lasts 30 seconds. As the magnitude rises, 4, 4.5. Magnitude 7.5 is over 1,000 times stronger than the initial test quake of 4.
There it goes.
The test now moves beyond magnitude 9.5, the largest recorded quake in history.
10.1级地震开始。 工况任务结束。
The walls may go down like Ronaldo in a slight breeze, but the original structure goes beyond Richter 10. That's more resilient than even my mum's red wine beefsteak. Sorry, Mum. This is Yingxian Wood Tower, and it's in the central part of China, known as Shanxi, not to be mixed up with Shanxi, okay? And get this, it's over a millennium old. It's in the Guinness Book of Records as the world's tallest of its kind, and along with the Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Eiffel Tower, it's one of the biggest 3 towers of the world. How come it hasn't fallen over yet, after all this time? Architects and engineers of ancient China, using simple geometrical structures, created buildings that were not only able to withstand earthquakes, but were also geometrically dazzling and remarkably efficient. Now you know. And if you visit any of China's countless ancient large structures, I guarantee you're going to start seeing them everywhere. The Forbidden City, perhaps the greatest of them all, certainly owes its survival to good old Sunmao. Although it has no fear of earthquakes, it's positively trembling in its foundations at the mention of the word fire. Its 9,999 buildings, yes, that's an accurate figure, have suffered a lot of fires. According to legend, these little creatures who live on the roof of the Forbidden City are the 9th son of the dragon. Busy dragon. Their appetite for fire means that they prefer to spend their time waiting on the 2 extremes of the roof. Why? Because they are in fact ancient lightning rods which could conduct the destructive force of lightning to the ground, thus reducing the risk of fire. Another means was to make sure that important wooden structures were built close to a source of water. And one of the reasons why water is such an important part of any feng shui inspection, which takes place when choosing the site of any future erection. There is an unbelievable amount of creativity that's gone into the design of China's traditional architecture, and the Forbidden City is probably the most obvious example, as the very heart of Beijing itself. With almost 2 million artifacts on display in its treasure troves, its museum really is a magical Aladdin's cave. What's more, at just $5 or £4, that's about €6 for a ticket, it's really great value for money. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself down there and check it out. But before you go, don't forget to check out our Instagram, Twitter and Facebook accounts. And whatever you do, make sure you keep it open. See you next time.